Good afternoon, everybody, or good morning, depending on what time zone you are dialing in from. I'm Stephanie Rawlings. I'm the Deputy Director of Desert Waters Correctional Outreach. And today you are joining another presentation of our Staff Strong series. Our presenters today, outside of myself, are going to be our Executive Director and Founder of Desert Waters, Dr. Katerina Spinares. And we are going to talk to you about one of our products called True Grit, Building Resilience in Corrections Professionals. Our monthly Staff Strong series presents some of the products that we have developed to help support corrections agencies in advancing staff wellness. And we do this by equipping agencies with educational materials that are specifically designed for the corrections professional. They're relevant and they're evidence informed. We also have these materials available for other public safety organizations. And if you're interested in hearing more about that, you can certainly contact us. We will have our contact information at the end of this presentation. As I said, today's presentation features our proprietary course entitled True Grit, Building Resilience in Corrections Professionals. Additionally, I want to announce that next month's Staff Strong is going to be on the 15th of January, and we will be going through our course, The Supportive Correctional Supervisor. And we hope that you will register and that we will see you there. We're going to be diving into our course for leadership in corrections at that time. So we are going to jump right in. And we are going to cover these items today. We're going to talk about our training, True Grit. We're going to meet our master instructors. We're also going to talk to you a little bit about the order of courses recommended by Desert Waters and get into some training details. So a little bit about Desert Waters. If you've joined us before, I'm sure that this feels somewhat repetitive, but we like to ensure that everybody who is dialing in knows a little bit about us. We are a 501c3 nonprofit that is based in Colorado. We have been around for more than 22 years, and we focus on advancing the well-being of correctional professionals as well as public safety staff, their families, and agencies. We provide wellness training, which True Grit will be an example of that wellness training today. We also conduct research within agencies, and we have some program and accreditation building programs as well. So you can see Safe Haven is our wellness programming I feel like I'm saying the word program over and over. That is where we assist agencies in building a comprehensive wellness program within their organization. Our safety net accreditation provides 18 standards that agencies can work towards, and when they are met, they can be certified as a staff wellness safety net program. We additionally provide educational materials as well as support through our monthly Correctional Oasis publication and our vent line. Also, these webinars. We have a webinar twice a month. We have Staff Strong that you are attending today. And then next Thursday, please make sure that you register for our longer 90-minute educational webinar. And that webinar will feature a panel discussing the personal and human impact of suicide after suicide.
Great. Well, thank you, Steph. Much appreciated. And one thing I'd like to add is that next month it will be a year, 23 years since we incorporated. So we're almost there to 23 years. And it's amazing how time has flown by. It has been a very, 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 very valuable time in my life. And also, we'll be editing this presentation today. So it won't really be available right away on our YouTube channel. Probably it will be in about a week's time at the latest, so that our video editor can go through it and clean things up if they need to be tweaked in some areas. And so we go on, and Stephanie mentioned the order of presentation of our materials. And one thing I want to say is that we typically advise agencies to start with our From Correction Fatigue to Fulfillment course from CF2F. And that's our foundational. That is really a very touching course for staff, in a way cathartic. It makes them aware of what has affected them and how and why and what they can do about it. And the what they can do part is the very, very basics, because it's a 1-day course, even though it can be given actually over 2 days, and it's even better that way. But we don't get into deep detail about coping and bouncing back, because there just isn't enough time. So when we had presented CF2F for several years, people kept saying, now what do we do next? Where do we go after CF2F? And so it's like, okay, this is time to build True Grit, which is, for me, it's like a cookbook of recipes for different areas of resilience, of how to boost them. And it's really a fun course, because it's very, very positive overall and very optimistic and very encouraging, very hopeful. The only thing, of course, is that for the tools to work, you have to work them. You have to put them into application. So True Grit was born as part two, to follow like a sequel to CF2F, about in-depth discussion, presentation, and even practice of some resilience skills that have been evidence informed. There's a really good backing for them, and specifically in the corrections environments. And it's much more detailed and has opportunity to practice in small groups, different clusters of resilience skills. So it is not so as emotionally laden as CF2F. It's much more, it has some cognitive parts about how we think and what we do and how we act, both at work and at home. So it was to complement and expand the reach of CF2F that True Grit was created. So people can have concrete skills to move forward. Okie dokie. So we have a few learning objectives here for the course. Let's go to that one. 3. One is to describe the nature and characteristics of psychological resilience. Like, what do we mean by resilience? And actually, that's a term that is relatively new, a few centuries old. It was started about the endurance of materials like wood and metal, if how they can take being banged around. And then we took it and used it in a psychological sense about how can we be resilient. So this course describes the nature and characteristics of psychological resilience, and then presents evidence-informed factors, 4 clusters of factors about that boost resilience, and kind of modify them to fit the corrections workplace context. And then we identify specific behaviors that are very skills-based. They're not theoretical. They're very practical, hands-on, concrete, that one can put to work, at home, and also in the community, because we're all belonging in a community of some sort, small or big. Like, it's not just our families that we impact and interact with. It's also people outside of our family in the community. So these are the training goals of True Grit. Let's go to the next slide. And why is it different from other resilience courses? What's special about it? Why are we even bothering to offer it? Let's go to the next slide. First of all, the whole thing of being correction specific, including examples and scenarios, small group practice material. It's evidence informed. It wasn't pulled out of a hat somewhere. It does address work, home, and community. And I think that's really important. We tend to forget community. It's a big part of our either well-being or stress. It's very concrete, hands-on, action-oriented, skills-based, not theoretical. We have the small group discussion. We have 4 clusters of resilience skills, of groupings, and we have a small group discussion after each one of them, and provides a little bit of practice like role play. And it can be offered either as a whole big 1 day course, but it also can be offered as 5 modules of an hour and a half or even 2 hours each. If it's a bigger group with a lot of discussion, so one can give it in installments instead of one long day. And I think it would be really beneficial to do that because it gives people time to digest things and sit with them for a while before they get the next round. So let's go to the next slide, please. And the modules I keep referring to, what are they? The first one is about psychological resilience, what it is, describing its nature, why it's important, how it works. Then the 4 clusters of skills that boost resilience are self-regulation, like how do I manage myself, like my thoughts, my emotions, my actions. The second one is strategic coping. How can I cope in ways that don't blow up in my face, that are effective and that are healthy, when I can control something and when I can't control something, like two groupings of situations where we have power over a situation and control and we can do something about it, and when we can't, like how do we cope then, other than drowning in a bottle, for example. Then the whole thing of interpersonal skills, positive relating as a booster of resilience, because interpersonal stress is a huge drain of energy and mood, and it's a downer. So it's like, how do we keep relationships being positive, including assertive communication, including de-escalation in our personal interactions? And then the last one that boosts resilience is a sense of mastery over learning, being really good at some stuff, and how that boosts resilience. So these are the 5 modules of True Grit, and they really are fun. And I keep thinking about them as a cookbook because it's like recipe 1, recipe 2, recipe 3. And then it's like, okay, what fits you? What is something that you feel more comfortable with? And maybe you already have practice to some degree and get better at it, or maybe try a new skill, including, for example, gratitude is one of those skills for strategic coping. So these are our modules, and let's go to the next one. And then some of the details for the training. We have 2 kinds of training. Let's go to the next slide. And we have, first of all, the direct delivery, where you can ask us to come and offer the training to you in person, to a group of your staff as a 1 day, 8-hour training. Or we can do 5 90-minute modules in person, or much more probably easily in some ways online, maybe 5 weeks, over 5 weeks, or however one over 5 months, presenting those modules and giving people like some homework to do and practice before the next meeting. So that's the direct delivery. We directly deliver the material to your people. And then the next one is a model that we use a lot, and it's very economical, where we train instructors and certify them. It's a 5-day, 40-hour training. It can be done in person. It can be done online. A 3-year renewable certification, and it allows your agency to provide that training anytime they want to staff, and we give. And you'll see later, we'll give you suggestions as to how to do that in a way that we know has worked before. And so let's go to the next slide, please. And I think that's Stephanie's, right? Yes.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, as Katerina alluded to, we do provide a lot of agency consultation and support for our courses because obviously this is really important work. This is really important material that staff need. And we want to make sure that it is done in a custom, thoughtful way that will have the ultimate chance of being deeply rooted and successful in your agency. So, part of that is we help you choose instructor candidates. And that is based on a number of years of experience from our team in selecting the right people to deliver this material. To be a trainer is obviously a fantastic skill set. However, due to the need to facilitate hard discussions and process material sometimes in real time, there is a skill set that has to accompany that and a credibility and a reputation. So we have selection criteria, documents, applications, and support that we provide you, and we even meet with your selection team and help you to make sure that you are setting your course up for success. And we do this with all of our courses, not just with True Grit. Additionally, we offer some best practices for course implementation within your organization. What works within your operational structure? What works with your current needs? There's a lot of departments. A good example of what we look at when we're looking at course implementation, there's a lot of departments right now that are struggling with high turnover and staffing and overtime. And the last thing that we want to do is create a situation where we are burdening the staff with additional overtime for staff being in training. And we have some methods worked out for those scenarios to assist agencies with implementing that course successfully. We also offer refresher training. If there is a situation or a conversation that keeps appearing in the course as it's delivered in the agency, and instructors feel that they need additional support, we are there to make sure that they feel like they have the tools that they need to deal with situations that can come up during those courses. And I know as a former staff wellness administrator, those do happen. And I was able to come back to Desert Waters and ask for that support because, hey, this conversation, we didn't really talk about this topic. And we were able to sit down and really navigate through that situation. So we want agencies to feel completely prepared for bringing in the type of training that we're doing here because it is different from other training that you may have running in your department. Additionally, we offer any other consultation that may come up throughout the implementation process or additional support. We provide communication of any training updates. We make sure that your staff know that webinars are available and other articles are available to support the material that they are being given. And new in 2026, we are starting with CF2F. I hope to expand this, is that we're going to offer some quarterly meetings for CF2F instructors nationwide to dial in and to be able to support one another, share stories, share barriers, challenges, training updates, walkthroughs of challenging slides. And hear testimonials from other instructors that are out there doing the same thing that they're doing. So that's a little bit about our consultation and support. We really, really want you guys, when you interact with our agency, to feel like you're completely prepared and you have the things that you need to implement the trainings successfully. Because it is so important for the staff to have that support, especially right now when we know the staffing challenges that are happening across the country. Meet our master instructors. These are our Desert Waters master instructors. And so at any time that you engage with any of our training, you may see one of these shiny, happy faces. And let me tell you, there's probably over 150 years of correctional experience sitting on this slide. And the thing that I love the most about our team is that all of these individuals between all of them, they've probably done it all when it comes to different positions in the corrections industry. We have a very diverse team when it comes to the level of experience, lived experience in corrections, and some of them even beyond corrections into other public safety organizations. So these are the individuals that you will see out in the virtual world training as well as in person. We want to open up for questions at this time. If you have a question, please feel free to come off of mute, or you can put it in the chat and I'll answer it. Cost. So our 2026 pricing for True Grit,
It's
Katerina?
1790 for one instructor, 3-year certification. Basically, that includes coaching, by the way. We didn't mention one-on-one coaching. It's a 1795, 1795, and we're available.
Yep.
So that doesn't end with the training. We like Stephanie said, we want people to succeed. So we invest a lot of extra time,
Yeah.
both in the beginning and afterwards.
Especially, I'll just add to, if you select, if you meet the minimum number of participants who hold an in-person training at your department, you get a lot of extra consulting, during that training week by having two instructors on site with your department, because we answer a ton of questions for your staff too, that just come up, chatting over lunch, chatting at breaks. The training time to certify a trainer, Roberta, is 5 days. It's a 5-day train the trainer course, and then they will be expected to schedule within 90 days of the conclusion of class 2 one-on-one sessions that are an hour long with a coach, and that's the one-on-one coaching Katerina referred to earlier. So when they complete the coaching, and a recommendation is made to certify them if they've met the requirements to be an instructor, they will be certified at that time.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. And we strongly recommend 2 people teaching the class to share the load, because it's a very intense day to answer questions, to present material. We always want to have somebody available if someone needs to step outside and talk about an issue that they were triggered about emotionally, for the other instructor to be able to keep on teaching while the first one has stepped outside for a few. And so share the load. So we don't want to burn out and exhaust the instructors in the name of wellness.
We have one more question I see in the chat. I'm going to read it out loud because I'm not sure I know what the course being referenced, but how does this compare or intertwine with the FBI NAA Comprehensive Officer Resilience Train the Trainer program?
The FBI, I'm not familiar with that one. I'm familiar with the one the military has. I'm sure there is some overlap, but I haven't seen the course. And with our Train the Trainer, we have a lot of tools for instructor training, like not beyond the content of True Grit. So I could not really say for sure how it compares. I'm sure there's some overlap though, because resilience is resilience and training skills are training skills. I don't know if it is specific to corrections. I doubt that the FBI one would be. So that would be one way that it compares differently, in that ours is very corrections focused. And the examples, the issues are about corrections as opposed to FBI agents. And you said training time. Yeah. Online, we don't want to kill people in front of the computer. So we do a good chunk of the time. We have 7 half days online and then independent study. And there are teach backs, by the way, at the end of the online and in-person training, to kind of monitor, and a quiz to monitor people's comprehension and ability to deliver the material. And then they have the coaching. but the online hours are directly with us are less than 40, but they have independent study uh, to compensate for some of that time.
And Christopher is asking, when is the next time that this course will be offered? So
Okay.
virtually would be,
I'll have to pull up the website and see where that is. If an agency or a group of agencies pull instructors together, we'll come to you and then it will customize the dates completely. It will be up to you. Um, training.
Kat-
So,
Katerina, it's August 18th is the
okay.
next online one that's scheduled.
Okay. But we'll schedule other ones if we have like 10 or more people that want to do it. We'll we if people are interested, send us your information and we'll get back to you if we get the requisite number and go for it and do it.
yes. And if you guys have any questions that we did not answer today, Justin has our contact information on the screen in front of you. Please don't hesitate to reach out and send us an email, and we're happy to answer any questions or respond to any scenarios that you may have. And just tagging what Katerina said about grouping together is that a lot of times for smaller county jails, that's more ideal, is sharing the um, master instructors across a couple of different departments, and each agency having, maybe 3 or 4 instructor candidates attend. So we are happy to work with whatever situation you are in, so that we can get your staff trained according to what your needs are. Um, Christopher has one more question. With being 3-year retrained, what is the cost of that part, thinking long term? So at the conclusion of 3 years, we offer a recertification examination for instructors to
Yeah.
complete, with
Yeah.
a cost associated with a recertification.
And the cost is usually it's much lower than the initial sign up cost. It I don't know that I know for this year it was 690 for this year. I'm not sure what will be in 3 years, but it will not be much higher than that. And so we are trying to make it so that people that are especially experienced instructors stay in the loop and are able to continue teaching because we take this whole thing serious so that people will need to be equipped with really effective coping skills and be reminded of them. So, think, for example, maybe I don't know, don't quote me on it, but it'll be maybe around 750 in 3 years' time, something like that. So it's definitely less than the initial sign up.
And that also includes all of your training, access to all of their training materials,
Hmm.
participant manuals, instructor guides, PowerPoint slides. If we do updates, it includes all that new materials. So you're not having to then purchase materials on top of this either. So you're going to have access to, if we go in and make redo an entire section, we're going to, there's not going to be an additional fee, for updated materials. That's
Right.
just what's loaded. They will have a login on a website where they will be able to access everything they need in real time. Awesome. Well, we sure appreciate that everybody came and joined us today. Like I said, if you have any additional questions, we are available through our website or our email, or you can even call us. And we very much appreciate your time today. We look forward to seeing you at January session about the supportive correctional supervisor. Hope that you all can make it and tell your friends. And we wish you the merriest of holiday seasons and a happy new year, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks, guys.
Yes. Thank you for coming.